up today. Hello and welcome to the Bigger Flip Show. My name is Michael Pinter, where I teach how to start flipping houses or be doing it, how to do it bigger. So I'm closing on a deal, hopefully soon, where I'm losing some money. And I've seen people who say they have significant business say they've never lost money on a deal. It's hard for me to understand it. Now, it could be because I'm in New York, where I can't really rent something out and be cash flow positive. So I can sort of, if a deal gets screwed up, I can sit on it for a while and wait. That it's something that only happens in my area. But I know a lot of people in the business, and people who do a lot of deals lose money on deals sometimes, right? It doesn't happen often, maybe once a year, once every 18 months or 2 years for me, but it happens, right? And if you're terrified, so terrified of losing, and I'm not talking about losing a lot of money, I'm talking about losing a little bit of money. But if you're so terrified about losing a little bit of money on a deal, it's going to prevent you from buying enough deals. Um, so I mean, and I have one of my students who has a hard time pulling the trigger, and I keep telling him, do it. You're not going to lose much. If everything turns bad, you're not going to lose much. And if things turn out great, you're going to make money, and that's the way you have to look at it. It's risk reward. So this deal I paid too much for. I made a mistake, and it's a lesson that I have learned and I will never forget. Right? It's basically the numbers were the price I paid made sense if it was vacant. I just didn't, and I sort of trusted the fact that the tenant was going to leave, and then the tenant took a year to leave. I got some rental income, but still didn't make sense at that point, right? So that's something that I now know. Right? I recently almost got into a deal where I gave a number, and then I realized, wait a second, I can't pay that if I have the uncertainty of knowing when I can actually sell the property. So I learned something from it, and that's how you have to look at every deal. You either win or you learn, right? So I have another student now who got into a deal before he was a student of mine, and he might break even to lose some money, and he's having a hard time with it. He only did it was his second deal, and I'm like, it's okay. You learned that this is all money you spent for education. That's it. You got to bite the bullet, get rid of the property, and move on. And we have to look at properties as almost like a product in an assembly line. You can't get married to a deal. I see people getting screwed up all the time when they get married to a deal because they get to a deal, they have a number in mind that's not correct, and it's probably based on the amount of money they spent on the rehab, which no one cares about, or basically they're trying to sell a property for a price so that they can make money, but the market is indicating that it's lower, and it's a huge mistake that happens all the time. So when somebody tells me they have a successful business, they've been in business for a long time, and they never lost money on a deal, I start wondering. Hey, Naman. Um, Rule number seven, number one, never lose money. I don't believe that should be rule number one. I believe your rule should be that you have to be active, get enough deals so that if you do lose money on one out of a bunch, it's not a big problem. So again, if somebody tells me they have really big business and they never lost money, I start suspecting that something's wrong. Unless they're in a situation like I said before, where they're in some area where the houses sell for $100,000 and they can rent for $1,000 a month, so they can just sit on them. But in my business, I do lose money every once in a while. I remember every deal that I lost money. I remember why I lost money, and hopefully I don't make the same mistake twice. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it.